This is Mrs. Grella. I'm just going to show you a video on how to answer the questions regarding parabola features on Delta Math. If you take a look at the first one, it says using the graph determine the coordinates of the x-intercepts of the parabola. Remember, the x-intercepts is where the graph hits the x-axis, which is here. So you can see there are two x-intercepts. There's one at -2 and one at -8. So we would have to write those as points. This point is -2, 0, and this point is -8, 0. So when I answer this, it's going to be 2 points, not 1 point, 2 points, sorry, because we have two x-intercepts. The first one we said was -2, 0, and the second one was -8, 0. Those are my x-intercepts or roots. Submit our answer. Yes. All right, so that's how we do the x-intercepts. It's where it intersects the x-axis where y is 0. So that's why the y coordinates are always 0 for those points. All right, this is very similar. It says using the graph determine the coordinates of the roots. They're really asking the same question. So again, you would do your 2 points, just like we did to the previous one. I'm gonna skip that for now and just try a different question, just so you see a variety. For my next example, it says using the graph determine the equation of the axis of symmetry. Now this is different. This is going to be an equation rather than a point. So my answer type is going to be one equation because it's an axis of symmetry. Remember, the axis of symmetry is a vertical line that cuts the parabola into 2 equal halves. So in this case, if I were to draw an imaginary line to cut this parabola in half, it would hit the x-axis at -2. So my equation would be x equals, because it's hitting the x-axis, -2. Okay, we got it right. Again, here's our axis symmetry. It's cutting the parabola in half, and it looks like this. That's how I know that that's my answer. Your solution has to have x equals. If it just says -2, it's not an equation, and it's not a correct axis of symmetry. All right, this is another one with roots and x-intercepts. We already did that. Here's one with y-intercept. All right, so determine the coordinate of the y-intercept. So I have to see where the graph's now hitting the y-axis. Looks like here, that point is 0, 3. X is 0 and y is 3. So again, it would be 1 point. And it would be 0, 3. Remember, the y-intercept is where x is 0. There's only one y-intercept. If there wasn't, it wouldn't be a function. It would fail the vertical line test. So again, the y-intercept is where x would be 0 and when it intersects the x-axis. All right, we've done ones with x-intercepts already and axis symmetry. Here's one with a vertex. That's different. That's another key feature of a parabola. The vertex is the same as the turning point or the maximum or minimum. In this case, it's a maximum because it's the highest point on the graph. It's an upside down U. So that's the coordinate of the vertex. All right. Vertex is also called the turning point because it's going up, up, up in this case. And then at that point, after that, it turns and goes back down, down, down. So that's why they call it a turning point as well. All right, but most of the time we use the word vertex. So this would be the vertex point. So let's look. The x value is -7 and the y value is 1. So it would be -7, 1. So the vertex is a point, 1 point, not one equation, 1 point. And it would be -7, +1 in this case, because it's this point right here. Let's submit our answer. Yes. And yeah, that's the maximum point, or it could be minimum point if it's a regular U shape on the parabola.